Good morning, everybody. I have had a very long weekend. Very, very long weekend. Very grounding weekend. Very earthy weekend. And now I caught a cold, too, on top of it. So, my family being sick for the last week and a half finally caught me. So, voice is a little temperamental, we'll call it. So please bear with me. With the temperamental voice, the cracks and the coughs and all that comes with it. So I'm not going to let Conscious Coffee roll too long just because of where my voice is at and my clogged up ears. But I did not want to miss Conscious Coffee for sure. So today's topic is all on living truthfully, and when we live with truth, then how we really truly live. We do live when we are truthful. And this is kind of coming around from multiple things, but I'm going to start off with Ralph Waldo Emerson. If we live truly, we shall truly live, which is kind of like the title that I gave this. And, this weekend, Addison Bell and I, we were out at a retreat, out at a festival, actually. It was a retreat, too, because it was so grounding and just so nurturing for the soul and for the body, and it's really, really good. But we were out at a retreat, and everybody was just stepping into their own skin, you could say. Really just kind of letting it all out. And sorry, my voice is so cracking. But a message that kept coming through was about freedom, about the inability in the day-to-day life to just be free, to be truthful, to be authentic, and to just live and experience life as we so choose, moment to moment, without trying to fit into some cookie cutter idea of how we're supposed to be. And as I sat around the campfire a couple nights ago, listening to one particular person make that statement right there, there was just this like aha moment, I guess you could say. And I know that both Addison had this gratitude come through us because we get to live in freedom that most people do not get to experience day to day. We get to just experience who we are and let it be. And that's such a blessing. It really is. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is, can you say that the person you are right now, how you're showing up right now, is the same person that you're going to take to work, is the same person that you're going to reveal to your children, is the same person that you're going to reveal to your spouse, to your partner, to your friends? Is that the same person that's going to show up at the grocery store later this afternoon or something? I mean, how do you change according to your environment? How are you choosing to show up in each instance? Are you truly being you, authentically, moment by moment by moment? So, sure, our moods change. Our ideas sometimes change, but who we are at our core doesn't change. And if you'll notice, there's a lot of times we get around people and you might go, I don't know, I wonder if they're like that around everybody. You know, it's that kind of feeling. Like, I wonder if they're like that around everybody. And the fact of the matter is no, they're not. I know that I sit down with people all the time. I have people walk into my office and they just go, you know, it's this whole thing of like, okay, I'm here and I can just be in this space. I know that you're not going to judge me. I know that you're not going to think poorly of me. I can just like let my hair down in this space with you and just be me and reveal all this truth in this moment. What that's saying, if that's the space that if that's the only space that somebody's being able to do it is here or here, it's basically non-existent, is that we're not living truthfully. Which means that the majority of people, self-included, because as truthful as I am, I still battle with truthfulness. I still battle with consistently trying to stand up and reveal myself, because revealing of self is a very vulnerable, very, very vulnerable place. And none of us are incredibly comfortable or in love with vulnerability, because it is so vulnerable, so revealing, so opening. But vulnerability is empowerment. Vulnerability is healing. It is a beautiful space of growth. And if we're not being vulnerable, and if we're not being truthful and living truthfully, then we're not living. Then we're not really experiencing the life that we could be experiencing, which means that we're lying. Ultimately, we're lying. And liars are never free, fully. So, I'm going to quote John chapter 8, verse 32. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That's being vulnerable with self. To know the truth is not just to read the truth, to see the truth, but it is to be the truth. And to be the truth means to be you, to be ultimately you. And if you're not being you, then you're hiding. You're hiding yourself. You're hiding yourself from yourself. You're hiding yourself from the people in your life. You're hiding yourself from God too, from the universe. And therefore, you're not going to really truly be in alignment to anything that you're claiming that you want. So, to really, really observe if you're in truth or not is where you've got to go. The interesting thing is that we live in this world where, hold on, and it's actually quite discouraging if you think about it. But we live in a world where people are actually shocked. They're shocked at honesty, and they're very comfortable with deceit. A week and a half ago, I was out for a drink with friends, and I sat down, and this man that I know, he was wanting me to talk to somebody else. So I'm talking to the woman that a couple people were trying to introduce me to. They thought that we were really hit it off and all this stuff. And the man just looked at me, and the woman, she's like, well, she doesn't seem so, she doesn't seem, I guess they painted me out to be I don't know what, but she's just like, oh yeah, we're getting along fine. And she made some comment about, like, she doesn't seem so scary. Kind of like that. And I'm going, scary? I'm coming across scary? You're scared of me? And the guy, he's like, well, she's the most truthful person. She's so truthful. It's like, you gotta, like, I've never met somebody so honest about things. And isn't that funny that the word scary, truthful, and honest are in the same sentence? But that's exactly the problem. We're scared of the truth. We're scared of honesty. And when somebody comes up and actually is just, boom, here I am, take me or leave me, I'm going to just give you who I am in the moment. We go, whoa, whoa, whoa. I need you to put on this costume for me, and I need you to play this role so that everything in my world stays nice and neat and tidy, and you don't muck up my lie over here, because your truthfulness can mess up my story, and that's not good. That's scary to me. That's not a great space. That's really sad. This is really, really sad. It really is. You know, the fact that in today's world that we are shocked at honesty, we are shocked at truth, and we're extremely comfortable with deceit. In relationship, you know, I share a lot. I teach a lot on a relationship. Actually, at this festival that I was at, I got to talk about relationship stuff as well. And one of the topics that came up was truthfulness in relationship. And we were going through different types of relationships, you know, from monogamy to polyamory, open relationships, swinging, and all that stuff. And of course, and when you talk about relationships and monogamy and openness, comes up the topic of affairs. And once again, what do we see? We live in a world where, you know, over 70% of relationships end in divorce. And the issues that cause divorce are sex and money. Those are the two biggest culprits to divorce. Well, when you get into the sex aspect and even the money aspect, but the sex aspect of relationship and what happens there is that often couples will come together, and on the front side, because they don't take the time to get to know each other, because they rush in, they hire each other so fast, they get into a situation and the sex is hot, and you know, all this new relationship energy is there, and it's like boom, 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 boom. And they jump into the deep end of the relationship pool, and they get really connected and committed quickly. So they do that, and then within 18 months, when that new relationship energy starts to wear off, the sex starts to die down, different things happen, you know, blah, blah, blah. And whoever was actually legitimately a higher sexed partner ends up sitting on the sidelines going, well, what happened to all of that over there? I thought that you were like me, and blah, 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 blah. And then they get disappointed, dissatisfied. Relationship, they find out that they don't really know their partner that well, and the relationship starts to do this. And the partner who has the higher sex drive turns around and does what? Has an affair. I mean, that's normal society. Normal, the way we live, that's exactly what happens over and over and over again. Affair rates are so high because of the lack of truth on the front side of the relationship, and that buying into the lie that we see on the front side. And then we move forward, and then all of a sudden you got a bunch of people that are having affairs that are, you know, out there. And here's the thing, extremely comfortable with the concept, the idea, and the action, even though there's the butterflies and I could lose my relationship over this. They're willing to sacrifice, or at least possibly sacrifice, the relationship that they have, because they're wanting what they're wanting, and they know that there's that lie there. So they almost feel they feel extra comfortable, we'll just say, extra comfortable with going ahead and getting what they want, which is the sex, the connection, the experience that they were looking for. So they go ahead, they have the affair. My brother calling right in the middle of a conscious coffee. So they have the affair, and they're actually comfortable with telling the lies to have the affair. Instead of, get this, and I'm sorry if this is you, but oh well, instead of having a truthful conversation with their partner, with their spouse, with the person that they said, hey, I do too, or I'm committed to, till death do us part to. Yeah, we're not going to talk about our needs, our desires, where we're at, the challenges that we're having in the relationship. No, just going to take it upon ourselves, lie to our partner, turn around, go have the affair, probably lie to the person that we're having an affair with too, do all these different things. So it's like lie, 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 lie. And ultimately it started from the initial lie on the front side of two people coming together and not being in truth on the front side. So in reverse, then you have, other relationships out there where people are being extremely truthful, like a polyamorous open relationship where everything's supposed to be. It's still for human, but in an ideal world, everything is supposed to be out there in a polyamorous open relationship so that contracts are established, everybody knows what everybody else is doing, there's no lies, there's nothing hidden. And that feels extremely scary to everyday society. It feels uncomfortable and scary because, oh my gosh, we have 2-3 people over here that are living in truth, speaking in truth about their needs, about their desires. Now, I'm not going to say that monogamy or polyamory or some other version of relationship is correct or wrong. To each his own. That's not what this is about. It is about the truthfulness, to live in truth, and just look at where in the world do you look at truth and go, whew, that's scary. Like, that was scary. That person was so truthful. Or I was really truthful in that moment, and that was scary. That was uncomfortable. Or when we see somebody being really truthful, or a couple being really truthful, or just somebody living in their truth, we look at it and we might go, oh, that's beautiful, but I could never do that. Oh, that's beautiful, but I could never do that. That's so scary. You're never going to be really accepted. You're never going to be really received the way a person who lies and lives a lie is. And here's the thing. The only reason the truthful person is not as accepted in our society as the person who lies is because we have grown so accustomed and so comfortable to lie in that bed with all these lies that we've made it where lying is what is expected. But when we lie, number one, things start out with these itty-bitty lies, right? These little white lies. And the problem with little white lies is what? We all become colorblind at some point, basically, right? So if you're telling, oh, that was just a little white lie. Yeah. A little white lie goes into becoming colorblind, which means that you're going to start telling so many other lies. And that dishonesty might gain you, some favor on the front side, might make you feel more connected on the front side, might advance your life on the front side. But in the end, what are you sacrificing? And how are you not living, truly living, because of all these lies? So, really focus in on that, because what lies do is lies steal your life. They steal your life. They steal your experience, they steal your love, they steal your joy. And once you get that lie snowball rolling, it is really, really hard to get out from underneath it. And, one of the biggest challenges that we have about the truth or about lies, you could say, is when somebody is telling us the truth, sometimes we don't want to hear what they have to say. We don't, because it's not what we want. It's not what we feel that we need from that person. It's not, they're not giving us what we want them to. Or on the flip side, when we lie to somebody, we feel like, oh, well, I'm going to just tell you that little lie, and that way I don't hurt your feelings. I mean, that's what often comes up. I don't want to hurt your feelings, so I'm going to soften this. I'm going to tell you something else, in other words. I'm not going to be truthful because I don't want to hurt your feelings. And what it is it really has nothing to do with the other person. It has everything to do with us. When we say, I'm going to soften it, I don't want to hurt your feelings. Makes us sound like a really nice, sweet person, right? I don't want to hurt your feelings, so I'm going to soften it. I'm not going to tell you the truth because I don't want to hurt your feelings. Okay, well, that's just to make me look good in that instance. Get that? Like when we say, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to hurt them. Ultimately, that's an ego play. I get a cough drop. Ultimately, that's an ego play to make us look better. The ego wants us to look better. So, it has us trying to look good with the people in our life, saying, oh, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't want to do this to you. I don't want to do that to you. That's not right of me. No, what's not right is to not tell the truth. If you have something that needs to be said to somebody else, then you need to say it. Maybe you don't need to just boom, but you need to say it. You need to get it out there. You need to stand in your truth. Figure out a really great way to be truthful. And when somebody is being truthful with you, try to be open and receiving to it, to actually hear what they're saying and to, take it all the way in. Not just go, oh, you're attacking me, or that's not what I want to hear, so I'm going to shut it down, and I'm going to get upset about it, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. Yeah, sometimes we receive things and we don't want to hear it, and it does hurt. And it's because it's not lining up to what we want in that moment. But if everybody just worked just a smidgen on trying to be a little bit more truthful, imagine how much more actual living would happen. Because when we tell those lies, we hold ourselves back. We hold our love back. We hold our joy back. We hold our pain back. We're not revealing who we are, and therefore we're not really truly experiencing each moment the way it's supposed to be experienced, the way it's showing up in our life, the way we can really connect and love and enjoy. And what do we want in life? We want love and we want connection. And yet we tell these lies which just block us from exactly that, the love and the connection. So, okay guys, I'm going to leave you at that. I don't know if I have any quotes in here. Truth always shines in the darkness. There is never an instant's truce between virtue and vice. Goodness is the only investment that never fails. Did you get that? There is never an instant's truce between virtue and vice. Goodness is the only investment that never fails. Truth is goodness. Lies are a horrible vice. They block us. They prevent us from living. They prevent us from experiencing. They prevent us from connecting. They prevent us from having joy. They take away our freedom. The freedom that we were born with to be us in every given moment. Choosing to show up however we need to show up in every moment, which does not mean to put on a mask for everybody around us, to put on a mask for our ego, to put on a mask for society, but to just be us. So, look out for those little white lies today. Try not to be colorblind. And speak your truth. Be your truth. Experience life. Be open to other people's truth. And always ask, is that true? Is that true? So, I love you guys. As always, if this was helpful, even if it wasn't helpful and you just enjoyed it, just hit the little, shameless little plug here. Hit the share button for me on a Monday morning. Help me get Conscious Coffee out there. And I love you guys, and I will catch you tomorrow around 6 a.m. Bye.